I did finish those two wing halves for the side with the receivers. The antenna's just fixed on there right now. I will rotate it 90 degrees and put a hole through it before near the end. So it's oriented vertically instead of horizontally. Like I say, it's just loose on there. But I will put a hole through the wing and hot glue it in a vertical oriented position. I did make some small changes to what I had planned. I did go back, and this time I have this part of the linkage in the second hold down on the servo, and I had it in the second hold down on the control horn for the ailerons, but I moved it to the top, which basically gives me less throw, and that's what I'm looking for. I just thought the last one, the first mini Talon I built, it was just a little high in throws. And what we've got here now, if you look, if I can get this set up, find the button too. There's the neutral position on the ailerons, and this is full throw. So it's less than it was on the original mini Talon. I may move it down one more on the servos before it's all over. But that's what I've got right now. And the little small change I did make while I was finishing up these wing halves. There's the two new mini Talons with the wings dry fitted on. I've got a little bit of a gap problem with the wings on that one I'll have to work on. That one seems to be fine. So that's coming along good. And that's what they look like on the bottom. Hard to show. So that's coming along great. The things I have left to do is I have to glue the wooden parts for the hatches. These two here. Actually, this one goes in the back. Underneath in the fuselage. So I can close the hatch, those two. And basically wire up some 743 wing flight controllers. I've already made the hole for the GPS. Got the GPS in a little 3D printed enclosure, and I have to make up cables for the two GPSs in both of them, but that's about it. Then I have the front deck to work on. I did buy two cameras for the system. This is the run cam split hybrid, I believe. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, they're run cam split hybrid 2s with the board, and then there's the little cameras. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. That's better. The run cam split hybrid 2s. We got two of those ready to go on. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do the front deck this time. I may end up putting the same pan and tilt on that I used on the first one. And the reason for that may be, I'll know when I get down to the end of this, is just the weight. And the problem I have with the weight is with the motor in the back, this time I did not put the receiver in the back, the ESC sort of in the back. It just makes the battery have to go so far forward in the fuselage that I don't know if I use a lightweight pan and tilt that I like. if it will actually balance out. So I'm going to have to wait until I get the flight controller in, GPS in, the hardware on, and then I'll have to check with the battery where my CG is. Or I may have to use this big old 390-degree servo, 80 grams again, in the front, and just go ahead and use the same pan and tilt I put on the other mini Talons to get the CG to balance. Now I bought 2 of these, so I've got 2 of these, one for both of these mini Talons. I don't see any reason not to use them, especially if I used the pan and tilt with a micro servo. I had to put weight, some kind of lead weight in the front. This is the lead weight that came out of a Bixler. It was in the nose of a Bixler. It's 252 grams. Now I could cut this in half for 75 grams or whatever, cut it in quarters. I also have weights around here. It's easy for me to put weight in the nose to get a good CG, but if the way the CG is going to balance out, I might as well just put one of the big servos. Oops. One of the big servos, 390-degree servos in the front, and be done with it and have utilized the 2 that I have on hand. So that is not really figured out well yet. And that means I don't know if I'm going to use a 3D printed deck on the front or if I'm going to use the plywood deck that comes with the mini Talons. So there's still a decision to be made on the pan and tilt, but I do have the cameras, 2 of them, one for each mini Talon. And like I say, I'll have to get the build almost complete to check the CG and then figure out what I'm going to do. So, but they're coming along well. Should be in the air pretty soon. All right, guys, I have a week coming up where tomorrow I have a 6-month physical with a new general GP, general practitioner, my doctor. I have to see them every 6 months. And because I'm going to a new doctor tomorrow that I've never been to, I have to have a full physical. So tomorrow is pretty much blown. Every Tuesday I have outside things to do, so I probably won't be attacking this again till Wednesday. And like I said in my other video, I'm sort of going to look towards flying. Today is just great. There's no wind, there's no clouds. I wished I had prepared and went out flying today, but I didn't. So, by the way, last Thursday, I was at my endocrinologist for my diabetes for a 3-month checkup. They've been checking me every 3 months for the past 2 years because of some new medications. Well, I was doing well enough last Thursday where I don't even have to go back to my endocrinologist for 6 months now. So there's been a lot of doctor's visits, kind of slowing me down here the past from Thursday till actually tomorrow. So that's just what's going on here. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you helping me with all this stuff. I don't think I would have gotten the air with my first drone airplanes in 2021 had it not been for several of you people. I just can't express how much I thank you for all the help. Like I say, I'm maybe a computer person and an electronics engineer, but my experience with these was rather limited. It's coming up now. I'm getting more and more all the time, but couldn't have done it without you guys. Thanks.